Hi, I'm Will Bruin, and I was just recognized as a Seattle Sounders legend. Now I get to do voice reads for the Sounder at Heart podcast network.
Here we go. Come on! Hey, O'Shan! Let's go!
The Seattle Sounders have done it! MLS Cup winners! The Sounders rule the region! Seattle Sounders is campeón! All creatures great and small.
Rothrock going to collect it. He does just about. Runs into the advertising awning. Low to our left. Ball goes in. Oh, what a cross! And what a goal!
Where's my copy?
I got a bunch of them in the car. I'll get you some.
You're handing them out for free already.
How many
cost on them?
$50.
I'll definitely give you.
This episode of Nos Arietes is sponsored by Full Pull Wines, a Seattle-based wine retailer and proud sponsor of Nos Arietes since 2011. Full Pull was founded in 2009, is based in Seattle, and is owned and operated by longtime Sounders supporters. They offer the best boutique wines of the world to members of their mailing list, with special focus on their home, the Pacific Northwest. Welcome back to another episode of Nos Arietes on the Sounder at Heart podcast network. I am Jeremiah Shan, and joining me today is a very special guest. You know him, you love him. It's Obed Vargas, the Atletico Madrid and Mexico World Cup player now. Of course, former Sounder, but welcome to the show, Obed. It is quite an honor to have you on. Your resume is getting a little absurd at this point.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be able to talk to you again and be close to the Seattle people and everyone that I spent so much time with at the end of, the day. I think I made my career in Seattle. I started there, so I'm very happy to have this time to talk with you guys.
Yeah, well, let's start there. Look, your departure from the Sounders was, I don't know if it felt sudden for you, and maybe it wasn't sudden, but it all came together kind of quickly, and it came while you were already in Spain, so you didn't really get to have a proper goodbye.
Yeah.
What was that transition like? Just going straight from one day you were training with the Sounders, and then almost virtually the next day you were in training with Atletico Madrid.
Well, yeah, everything. I mean, I kind of knew I wanted to go. I think a lot of people knew I wanted to take the next step. And yeah, when we were in preseason, it all kind of worked out for me to transfer. And yeah, it happened so fast. I didn't get to say bye to my teammates, bye to a lot of the staff, because we had a day off, and a lot of guys were out, kind of getting dinner together. And I stayed in the hotel because I knew all this was going on, and it all happened. And I sent the group chat text that I was getting transferred, and I couldn't say bye to anyone because the van was waiting for me outside and the guys weren't even in the hotel. So it was so fast. And then, like you said, yeah, like 4 days later, I was making my debut with Atletico Madrid in Copa del Rey, I think quarterfinals. And then I just kept going. I didn't have a day off with Atletico Madrid until the last week of the season. So you kind of just get into that mode where you're just going. And I was fighting for minutes because obviously when I came into the team, I wasn't gonna be a starter. I wasn't gonna, have a big role. But little by little, I started to get more minutes. And honestly, I think looking back at the half season that I was there, I'm very proud of what I did and what I was able to accomplish. And I think it's a good starting spot for going forward.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of people realize inherently that Atletico Madrid has a pretty impressive roster. But you were just telling me that this is like the third time in a row that Atletico has the most players in the World Cup final. You said they have 9 guys playing in this final on Sunday.
Yeah, they have 9 guys from last season, and then they just signed a player from Spain now during the World Cup. So I guess he's an Atletico Madrid player now. So 10. Yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy.
And so to break into a roster like that is not easy. You know, breaking into any
No.
rosters, any new team is tough. But when you're competing with literally world-class players, the fact that you were on the field so quickly seems to speak pretty highly of what they thought of
Mhm.
you. And the fact that you were able to grow into that role quite a bit. I mean, you didn't get into Champions League, but you got into La Liga games, you got into Copa del Rey games. You got to experience a lot of stuff in a
Mhm.
relatively short period of time.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm so proud looking back at that because it's not easy making a jump from MLS to La Liga to any European league to top 5 European league. It's not easy, and obviously I'm a young player, and I wouldn't say my experience is super long as a player, like maybe other guys that are in their 23s or 24s. So and also when I told you when I came into the team was in like a 2-day training schedule. Like we would play every 3 days, train 2 days, play the third, train 2 days, play the third. We don't train that much. It's not like we have a lot of time to prepare the games, or you're on the field for an hour or an hour and a half maximum. That's maximum, and you don't have that much time to demonstrate, what you're capable of. And there was a little bit of injuries. Some guys were out, and the opportunity came. And I think when I had the opportunity, that I tried to do the best I could. And I think I showed a little bit of what I can do. I don't think it's my total end product or what I'm going to be in the future. I hope that I keep growing and developing as a player. But I think I did enough where the coach trusted me to play me more and more. And honestly, what I've learned in those games and the experience I've gained in these past 6 months has been eye opening for me, and it's been incredible to be able to experience all that.
Well, let's dig into that a little bit.
Mhm.
You are not necessarily a goal scorer. You're not necessarily piling up assists, and I would imagine those are usually the easiest ways to impress
Mhm.
a coach when you're in training is just doing the stuff that everyone sees.
Mhm.
So, what is it that you think you were able to do? How did you win over a coach like Diego Simeone, who is not, he's known as one of the top managers in the world?
Um, Trying to do the same thing I did here in Seattle, just at a higher level. At the end of it, you're not going to change who you are as a player, so you might develop new aspects of your game, but your essence or my essence as a player is not going to change. And so I just kept doing what characterizes me as a player. And I think what I can give you is, um, I mean, Simone, you can know is a coach that loves defensive work rate, that loves intensity. That if you don't give him that, you're probably not going to play. So that was a starting point. Was giving my all in every training session, trying to win all my duels defensively, and make sure I wasn't getting beaten in any of my duels. And that's you can notice that pretty easily when you're like, wow, this player does not lose any defensive duels. He gets stuck in. He's so intense. He's always going. That's easy to notice. It always grabs the attention of a coach. And then obviously what you do with the ball when you're in possession. I think that's also one of my strengths is going forward, dribbling, taking guys on, trying to unbalance the opponent. And little by little, as I gained confidence in the environment, I was able to start doing that, and they were able to start realizing, wow, he can do these things. And then obviously, I've been saying that since I was in Seattle, I'm trying to get better at my end product, which is the goals and assists. I think um, maybe I'm not seen as a guy that contributes at that a lot, but I want to at some point, be able to say, no, I have 10 goals or assists a season or more. That's going to help my career a lot and help me grow as a player. So that's where I started off, and I hope I keep developing those aspects of my game. And obviously, there's going to be different tactical situations that I need to get better at, in a higher level. So I'm constantly trying to improve all those things.
Was there a moment when you got? I mean, it was so fast. The transition, like you said, you go from literally training with the Sounders one day, and then the next day you're thrown onto the
Mhm.
field. and it wasn't just like, it wasn't like in MLS where you show up and, there might be a little bit of, you might do a little small press conference or something. It was
Mhm.
like you were on a stage, you were
Yeah.
presented to the fan base. They did a whole social media campaign around you. It was a big production bringing you into the team. Was there a moment where you took a step back and just like, is this really all happening right now?
Not really. Like I said, I was just kind of living in the moment and just going. And I think I have a good base, a good, um, I don't know. I think what Seattle gave me and, social and, media training and every aspect of the game, I think I had great coaches over there that gave me a solid base to build off of. And so I wasn't like intimidated by like what you said, by the big, I don't know, stage. I followed the team for years and I had
Mm,
seen that every player goes through that. And so I was also
mm.
prepared. I was like, this is going to happen. The president's going to talk. I have to talk to the media. Um, but yeah, when you're in the moment, sometimes it's like, okay, now I actually have to do it and do it well. And yeah, I think I was just living in the moment, trying to do the best that I could. And that's kind of how I live, is not try to think too much about things, because if you worry a lot, if you're thinking about what can go wrong, then I think it's worse.
Was there anything on the field where you sort of took in the like? I know you're saying you're living in the moment, but
Mm-hmm.
there's got to be something about watching a game at a stadium that you've seen hundreds of times on TV you're playing against players who I don't know, you've idolized. I imagine playing with players that you've idolized at various times. And was there ever a moment where you kind of realized this is all really I mean, like it sort of like it really hit you like this is all really happening?
Um, yeah, I think going to that first training session and seeing Simeone as like a person, seeing him as like, okay, he's like my coach now, and he's not just some guy I see on TV, and all my teammates. The first training day, like seeing Griezmann, training with him, like being part of the team, you kind of realize, wow, like this is real. Like I'm here now, and I have to step up my game. And I kind of think I take it as like responsibility and pride, and wow, I can do this. I'm here. I'm like proving to myself that I can be at that level. And I think also, the Champions League games, when I would be on the bench and I would watch that, it was the speed of the game was different. Like everything was so much faster. Guys were so intense. The coach was so intense. The vibes in the locker room were, this is win or go home. Like the fans, if we don't win this, the fans are going to get on top of us. And all those little things, you start to realize where you're at, the club that you've arrived at, and what it means to be there.
What would you say now, what would you say the biggest difference is? Like, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make either off the field or on the field just to sort of be able to be present and be part of it?
I think obviously the level is higher, like the quality of the player is a little bit higher. But I think the biggest difference is the way that they take care of themselves over there. And
Mm.
well, at least on my team, I can't speak for other teams, but the way that I see that my teammates take care of their bodies, the way that 24 hours they're taking care of everything they do is to try and perform better. Everything from what they eat, from the blue light glasses to their recovery to their setup at home, their gyms at home. Everything they do is trying to improve how they perform on the field. And so I started trying to take the same steps, like get my nutritionist and get a chef that brings me what I need every day. Like in Seattle, I made my own food, or I eat at the club, and I was fine. I didn't um, have it as detailed as I have it now. So I think that's the biggest difference. Besides anything on the field, obviously on the field you can tell that some teams are more intense, are tactically more advanced than over here than on MLS. But I think that was the biggest difference for me, was seeing like the physical aspect of each player. And because over there you play every 3 days, and if your body's not in the best shape possible, you're probably going to get injured a lot. So um, that's what I learned from being there.
And so that's all sort of a precursor to you having what maybe is even a bigger experience, which is playing in a World Cup. And it's not just
Mhm.
any World Cup, obviously. It's a World
Yeah.
Cup where you're playing for one of the host nations. You're playing in a venue that is legendary around the world, that I would think has a very particular relevance to any Mexican fan, anyone who grows up with El Tri in their life, right?
Mhm.
Uh, just kind of walk me through how the World Cup was, and maybe how the Atletico Madrid experience prepared you for it.
Yeah, I think um, it's hard to put the World Cup into words, because I mean, just imagine a whole country being focused on 26 guys, on 26 players, like, and you feel that, you know, that the whole country's watching you. You know, every game, every time we left our facilities, the whole country would come out into the streets and see our bus and kind of flip out by seeing us, you know, and they can't see us, they just see the bus. So you definitely feel the responsibility and the pride that it means to represent the country at a World Cup, and especially at home, you feel it even more because everyone's there. After the games, you see the videos of the people that go to El Angel and celebrate, and they flood the streets. You, I don't know, I don't know how to explain. Just, if you can imagine what it feels like to have a whole country watching you at all times and expecting, like, at our training session, we had like maybe 100 to 500 media people every day, you know, so you feel it. And then I think that's why I also wanted to take the next step in my career, was because I knew the World Cup was coming. I knew that being at a bigger club in Europe was going to help prepare me for that moment, help me get to that World Cup, because at the end of the day, it was one of my dreams, one of my goals, to make it to that World Cup roster and be able to be part of that team. Um, so obviously, being at Atletico Madrid, having the pressure of La Liga games, having to be in top four every year, having to compete, then Copa del Rey, having to win there, and Champions League, having to win. You just have to win every game over there, and I think that makes you better. And then obviously the environment, my teammates, they push you to new limits, and the coaching staff pushes you even more. So I knew I was gonna have to go through a bit of uncertainty and uncomfortable situations, but at the end of the day, that's what I wanted, to get out of my comfort zone and grow and prepare me for what's coming.
Sounder at Heart has been around in one form or another since 2009. In 2026, though, we make a pretty significant evolution when we go analog. Yes, that's right, in the year of our Lord 2026, we are publishing a real-life magazine. We're calling this thing 4, as in Sounder at Heart 4.0, but we're stylizing it as IV because we absolutely love Roman numeral. And if you want to refer to it as IV, that's cool too. The first issue has a comic book style cover that was hand-drawn by local artist Kevin Newbern. Features by Tim Foss, Susie Rance, and Charlie Boehm, a statistical deep dive by Kat Bush, a Q&A with Brian Schmetzer, a column by G. Willow Wilson, and photographs by Noah Reif, Max Aquino, Mike Russell, and Jane Dershowitz. I could not possibly be more proud of the work everyone put into making this, and I think you're going to absolutely love it. If you'd like to get your hands on one of these limited edition copies, we're currently selling them for $15 on our website. Get yours now. Nos Arietes, admittedly, is not exactly known for our spicy takes, but that doesn't mean we want our food to be mild. Spice up your life with Hacks and Ferments. Handcrafted in Georgetown and made with the best local ingredients from across the Pacific Northwest, they specialize in unique small batch fermented hot sauces and vinegars. Hacks and Ferments brings bold flavors and natural fermentation together for something truly special. Whether you're a heat seeker or just looking to elevate your cooking, you'll find something you love at hacksandferments.com. That's HAXANFERMENTS.com. And right now, if you use the code Sounder at Heart, that's all one word, at checkout, you will get a free hot sauce with your order. Again, go to hacksandferments.com, use the code Sounder at Heart at checkout, for a free hot sauce with your order. Accent Ferments is a proud sponsor of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. You know, I have to imagine that it's also pretty powerful to be standing there on the field, to have your arm over your chest, and to be singing the national anthem in someplace like Azteca and have 80,000 fans singing along with you. I don't know what is that like? What is the emotions of sort of knowing exactly like where it's really hitting you? Like this is,
I think in that moment, you think more about everything that you've gone through to be in that moment. Like for me, I think I thought back to my grandparents and everything that they had to go through. They obviously, I mean, I'm not going to go into it now, but they didn't have easy lives. My parents didn't have easy lives either. I had to overcome a lot of obstacles just trying to make it as a professional soccer player coming from Alaska. And honestly, in that moment, you're just standing there and you see the people and you're in the stadium and you're singing the anthem. You're like, wow, everything was worth it. Everything that I did, all the sacrifices that I've made, leaving my family, having to be alone, like, persevering through things. You just, in that moment, you're like, this is what I worked so hard for, and I'm just gonna enjoy it now. Like, I'm so proud to be here. And for me, I thought more to my parents, because I can't imagine what it was for them to see their son, standing there on that field. Like, that makes me more proud than like being me myself being in that moment, is knowing that my parents are seeing me, there.
And did your parents get to were they in attendance at the World Cup matches?
Yeah, they were in attendance at all the games. They wouldn't have missed that for anything.
And so were you able to experience what Mexico was like outside? I mean, I assume they kept you probably pretty isolated from everything else that was going on there, but did you get to sort of experience any of because we would see the videos of what's going on in Mexico and it just seemed like it was so fun.
No, we were pretty confined in our space. We had maybe one day after the game where we could see our families for X amount of hours. It was probably no more than 6 hours. We could leave for a little bit. And when you leave, and if you go to a public space, you can see, I think I went to a mall one time with my parents, and all the people know who you are. They all recognize you. They all asking you for a picture, and it's pretty surreal. It's because you're just thinking like, I'm just the same as you guys. Just a person. I just play soccer. And so it's very, very surreal, and it's honestly very, very proud moment for you as a player.
I have to imagine that as long as you were here and as well known as you were among Sounders fans, that you probably didn't have anything experienced quite like that in Seattle, where you were out at a restaurant and you just got mobbed by people.
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever. I think people in Seattle are very respectful, and they wouldn't come to you in that way. I'm not saying like people in Mexico or somewhere else aren't respectful, but I think the game is lived at a different level over in Mexico.
So how much of adjustment was moving to Madrid? That's obviously a huge city. It's a world city. It's not like you were living in some village before that, but relatively speaking, it's a different level, right?
Yeah.
What was your introduction to Madrid like? And were you also being recognized just sort of on the streets of Madrid?
Yeah, we have in Madrid, Atletico has a similar setup than like Seattle. So we have our training grounds in one city, in one area, which is a smaller city like Renton, like Long Acres. So most players live in that area. And then we have our stadium in Madrid, like similar like Seattle, like the stadium in Seattle. So honestly, when I was in Seattle, I didn't live in the city, or I didn't live anywhere near the chaos. So I liked it better that way. And now in Madrid is the same way. I don't live in the city. I live 20 minutes away, 20 or 30 minutes away. So it's kind of more, for me, it's easier. Life, I like to be calm. I like to take it like a low key life. I like to have my routine. So it wasn't that hard to get into that in Madrid because very similar that. And honestly, it's honestly better over there because I drive less. I'm closer to the training
Mm.
ground. The stadium is max 35 away, so it was easier in that aspect. And then obviously the people, I speak Spanish, so I was able to get along with the people fine. The food, I've never had any issues with any food. I enjoy all kinds of food, and so for me it's been easy. You know, the club helped me find a place. They provided me with a car, so everything was pretty smooth getting in over there.
You know, so my wife is Mexican, and when we
uh,
went to Spain, she was identified pretty quickly as being Mexican.
yeah.
Have you had that experience there where like there's just sort of like cultural things that people are like, ah, yeah, even if they didn't necessarily know who you are, they know
Mhm.
that you're, even though you speak the language fluently, that
Mhm.
it's
I mean, they definitely know that you're not from Spain. They might assume you're Mexican. I don't know. I haven't had any like real encounters like that, but um, I would say like in the stadium, there's always Mexican flags. There's always people from Mexico, which is amazing to see that people go and bring their flags. And they're kind of not there for me because obviously they're there for the team as well. But while
mm.
they're there for the team, they're there supporting you as well.
Have you found
Yeah.
anything that you've really come to appreciate about Spain?
Um, the weather.
A little better
I lo-
than Alaska and Seattle. Is that what you're suggesting?
with the months I was there, the summer months, it was amazing. Like sun every day until like 9 p.m., which is similar to Seattle in the summer. It's the same.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, there's no lakes though, and there's no water, so I miss that. Um, but no, I think being able to speak Spanish and get along with the people, that I appreciate that from the country.
Any cultural experiences you're looking forward to having or that you've already had that you were sort of impressed by?
No, I don't. I like to keep my own, like my personal or my family's culture very strong in my
Mm,
household, so I don't plan on like changing something because I'm in a different country. The one thing, it's hard to change to if you want to go eat dinner somewhere in Spain, you have like the earliest reservation is at 8:30. So
yeah.
everything's so late. You kind of have to deal with that if you want to go eat, and you show up at 8:30 and the restaurant's empty. There's no one there. Um, so people start eating dinner like 10,
Yeah.
9, 10.
I also found
Um,
hot sauce was hard to find in Spain.
yeah, I mean they have the basic ones like Valentina, I think, and
Mm,
Cholula. So it's not
okay.
like other European countries where they literally don't even have that. You know, I have
Right.
teammates on national team that play in like Belgium or um, I don't know, other countries, and they don't have anything, and so they bring it from home. And honestly, I wouldn't say I need that. Like I'm fine. So
Fair enough.
yeah, yeah,
Well, so you guys are getting ready to I guess you said preseason has already started.
yeah.
Uh when do you head back out there and what's the sort of what are your goals for this year?
Yeah, so preseason started on 13th. I'm heading back this weekend and then I'll start training hopefully Monday. And well, as far as my goals go is, you know, going with that same humble mindset, that growth mindset, trying to learn, get better, and then just earn more minutes. I want to make my debut in the Champions League game. That would be a dream come true. Um, start more games in La Liga and continue to grow in in the team. You know, become a if not a starter, one of the first guys that come off the bench, and then slowly uh, break into the starting lineup more and more. I think that's kind of how you have to start. You have to be realistic to where I'm at. I'm not starter or anything established yet, so I know where I'm standing. I know I have a lot of work to do. So um, I'm very excited for that. Actually, the process and learning and seeing what comes giving everything and starting a season over there, because I came in halfway through the season, and seeing how that goes. Being there from day one is exciting.
Did they give you any sort of any kind of notes or things that they wanted you to like? Did they lay out a plan for what they envision for you or what they want to see from you?
Not now, because the season ended and went straight to the World Cup, and well, my vacation is now, but I think we got eliminated on the 5th. Yeah, July 5th. And I head back this weekend. I think 18th. Like, I've had maybe a week and a half, so they're kind of just letting me be, have my mental recovery, physical recovery, and then I think once I get back there, then we'll see what plans. But as far as now, I'm just excited to start preseason and be in the team.
Absolutely. Well, I know one of the things that we wanted to be able to do was give you an opportunity to just sort of say goodbye to, or to say, I don't know, just to have like some parting words for Sounders fans and the organization, I suppose. But anything you feel like you want to say that you haven't maybe had a chance to say until now?
Yeah, well, I had that little video that they made, but no, I just want to say to the fans, thank you for everything. Honestly, it was a dream come true for me to be able to play in Seattle and start my career there. And I think Seattle have the best fans in the league, and that's what pushes the team, honestly, to try and compete for every tournament. So I would say never stop that, because the fans are a huge part of the team, and I think the team only goes as far as the fans push it. So I hope that they keep supporting the team, and obviously I'll keep supporting the team. And then for the organization, I think I said it to them, but I'll say it again. I think they gave me a really good base. They taught me everything I needed to know from when I joined the academy at 14, and they started developing me as a person, as a player, for me to get to that first team level. And then obviously at a first team level, I think I had amazing coaches in Preki and Brian and Freddie, Andy, and they kind of more than just wanting to win games and everything. I think they took the time to really develop me as a young player. You know, it's hard to trust a player when I think I was 16, 17, 18, you know, playing important games for the club, and they really took the time to give me the trust and, you know, the games that I needed to develop and to become the player I am now, and be able to take a step to a team like Atletico Madrid and not be all lost and frightened. You know, they gave me everything I needed. So for that, I'll always be thankful. And then obviously the staff, everyone, they're such great people. Honestly, the culture of the team is probably elite to any other team. So it was honestly one of the best teams I think I'll ever play on, and I hope that one day I can go back and experience that all over again.
Well, look, you had quite a 2025 26 sort of campaign. Or I guess 26. You were there for the 25-26 season, but quite a 2026 so far.
Well, I would say 2025 was good.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You
won a Leagues Cup.
We had the Club World Cup. We went Leagues Cup, and then playoffs. I missed a penalty. I'll never forget that. I'm sorry to all Seattle fans, to everyone there. I missed a penalty, and that's my fault. I take responsibility. So yeah, but the season was a good one. Really, really fun one, and obviously then 2026 was even more, full of more adventures, I would say.
Yeah, it's been an amazing ride to sort of see you take this thing, to kind of talk about how, you know, this kid from Alaska has made these strides and these moves. You're blazing trails for Alaskans. You're blazing trails for former Sounders. It's, you know, it's a pretty amazing thing that you've gone through. And it's been a real joy to watch you go through it and to handle it honestly with such maturity and class. It's not a given at all that when folks like you go through this, that they continue to be humble and that they stay grounded, and you really can't even blame them when it doesn't happen, because this is a lot going on. When you're standing in Azteca doing the national anthem and you're getting feted by some of the great names in the sport, it's tough. So congratulations, Obed.
Thank you.
We wish you the best of luck, and hopefully you remember us when as you continue to to fly through this career of yours that is on such
obviously. Look, I still have the Sounders shirt.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, we love that about you, and hopefully you continue to rep the Sounders when you're in Madrid. I'm sure there's some Madristas that would that could look for an MLS team to follow.
Yeah. For the record, I tried to get Griezmann to go to Seattle. I told them.
And what did he say?
He said it was further than Orlando.
That's true. That is a good point.
To Europe. So I tried.
Yeah, stay in guys' ears, because you never know when that might help out a little bit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Obed.
Thank you.
And we'll continue to watch. And I guess one thing have they talked to you at all about I know one of the things people have talked about here is or not here. There was a lot of speculation that you might be sent out on loan. Have they talked to you at all about anything like that?
No, not at all. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, you played something like 900 minutes for Madrid after showing up at the end of the season.
Yeah.
That seems to me to suggest that they want you to stick around. So it's amazing to see all this.
When you go into a team like that, I think you have to understand maybe how many players are in a position, whether you're going to get a lot of minutes or not. So we'll see. I think everything depends on how preseason goes, how you do, and then we'll make a decision based on that. But I think the club will always look for what's best for you, and I will too. So I think either way is good, depending on what the team wants and what you need as a player and to develop.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for doing this.
Thank you,
Obed. We're going to continue to watch, and we're going to continue to be impressed. I'm sure it's quite an achievement, everything that you've done to this point, and we can't wait to see what you do next. But with all that, I should sign off. I am Jeremiah Shan. This is No Study at This, part of the Sounder Heart Podcast Network, and we'll catch you next time.
Let's go Sounders.